Hi, lovely and darling viewers. It's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm reviewing Forever Autumn by Mark Morris. This is a new series adventure book from Doctor Who that follows the 10th Doctor and Martha Jones, and it's definitely a Halloween story. So, this book takes place in 2007 in this small New England town a couple of days before Halloween. And this town is obsessed with Halloween. They always have this really gigantic Halloween festival. And the centerpiece of that is this bonfire where they burn this jack o' lantern man, like an effigy. Like it's a whole man, but like a jack o' lantern head. And set up a bonfire. It's very much like Guy Fawkes Day, but they're in New England, so it's not Guy Fawkes. Um, and this town has the story in its past about why they burned this jack o' lantern. It's kind of mostly forgotten, but as the book goes on, we find out what actually happened and why they celebrate Halloween so much. So the main plot is set in motion when these three teenage boys, who are all, well, they're 12, so they're almost teenagers, but they decide to start digging for treasure right at the base of this really creepy tree, which is where the town gets its name. So the town is Blackwood Falls, and it's named after the really dark wood, like the black wood of this tree that has been there for hundreds of years. And it's spooky and creepy, and definitely like this Halloween abandoned tree that looks like it's kind of dead. So they decide to dig at the base of it, and what they find is this really creepy book, like an old ancient book. They open it, one of the kids starts reading from it, even though it's not in English or any language that they understand. And this really creepy green mist comes out of the hole they dug and just like descends upon the whole town. And it's very spooky, and it definitely adds a very creepy Halloween feel to the story. So the Doctor and Martha are drawn to this strange energy that's coming, and they start investigating. This is not normal fog at all. It's kind of inducing fear, whether it's the green nature of it or if there's something else going on. It's kind of spoilery. Lots and lots of common fears are exploited in this book. Uh, Giant spiders, being attacked by bats, mummies coming after you, possessed animals, people disappearing randomly, a guy walking through a cemetery and seeing things come out of the graves. The story is also told from multiple perspectives. So we get the doctors and Martha's, but then we also get some of the townspeople's. So we get the witch's perspective, we get the boy's perspective, um, and a lot of really creepy things happen. There's a lot of being attacked in here, and a lot of tiny pieces that need to be pieced together before you can piece together like the big plot of this book. The book takes place in New England, but you can tell it was written by a English author because even when there's supposedly an American child narrating, they still refer to things like flashlights as torches. So the slang isn't always right, which as American I totally noticed, but it wasn't so much that it kicked me out of the book too much. There are lots of pop culture references in here, stuff like Sonic the Hedgehog or talking about the Star Wars movies, which I super appreciated. There are also lots of references to other stories that Martha appears in, especially the Shakespeare Code with the Carrionites, which I just recently rewatched, so I'd love to see that mentioned in here. The Doctor plays a huge part in figuring out what's happening and resolving it, but then the normal humans also play their part, and he couldn't have done it on his own. There are a few things that like you kind of know that they get resolved, but it isn't actually explained at the end of the book that they were actually fixed. So you kind of just a couple minor things that are like, well, I assume that they fixed themselves, but maybe it didn't. Definitely has an overall spooky vibe. There's a few terrifying things in here where even I was actually scared. Very good Halloween story. It's not too scary that you couldn't give this book to a child, though. It's more of atmospheric terror and just like the being attacked by like bats or something than anything truly terrifying and happening in here. It's still Doctor Who. It's still PG, but also still a little bit scary. Which has, it's great. This is my second time reading it, so obviously it's really good. I gave it 5 stars. Really love it. Enjoy it. It's like the kind of book that I could see coming back to like year after year and still reading and still holding up. Um, knowing kind of the overall what was going to happen because I had read it before didn't spoil the book. It still had plenty in there to make it really interesting, which is awesome. And there's narrations from different townspeople in here, so we get to see their perspective. So it's not all just the doctor and Martha, which I liked, and we get to see how people view them, which is always fun too. Like, what do normal humans think of the doctor? So there's my review for Forever Autumn by Mark Morris. I really, really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you have read this, and what are your favorite Doctor Who stories? Like, what are your favorite Halloween stories? Are there any other Doctor Who ones that you really love? Or what are your other favorites? I don't know. I'm tired. So, yeah. So, peace out. I love you guys and keep reading. Bye.